My name is Rosie. I live in Offaly and I suffered a traumatic brain injury just over 2 years ago as a result of a road traffic collision. My life before my brain injury, I was an avid researcher in science. I was physically very active, went hiking a lot, I cycled everywhere, and I was a very social person. Spent a lot of time with my friends and family. After my brain injury, I was in hospital for just over a year, and that happened during COVID, which was incredibly lonely because I was separated from my friends and family. I didn't see them for almost 7 months. The early days of recovery were exhausting. Like, even the most normal everyday things were very, very tiring for me. There was so much I couldn't do anymore. Like, physically, my behaviour changed, my communication changed. So I had to learn to adapt to all of those things. It meant a lot to me to have access to rehabilitation that I needed, because without rehabilitation I wouldn't even know what's possible for me. Ultimately, I wanted to regain my independence again, be able to do things. I knew I wouldn't be able to do everything I could do before my injury. I wanted to be able to learn how to adapt to my life so I could enjoy it again. If I hadn't got rehabilitation, I wouldn't have achieved everything I've achieved thus far. My recovery wouldn't have been as successful at all. It's made life possible for me. I'm independent. I've got back to work part-time. I'm cooking meals at home. I'm brave enough to get back into a car after my accident to attend rehabilitation a couple of times a week. My communication has changed. I'm able to speak for longer periods of time without getting out of breath. I'm able to understand things much more clearly, and I'm able to communicate much more effectively now. So COVID kicked off while I was in hospital, and there was a need to free up beds for COVID patients. So there was discussion about sending me to a nursing home because there wasn't a rehabilitation space available. And I was only 35 at the time and thought of a 35-year-old woman going to a nursing home just seems criminal, where I would have no access to physiotherapy, no access to occupational therapy, speech and language therapy, things that were very essential to my recovery. And I know I was one of the lucky ones that ended up getting a rehabilitation bed, but for so many others that's not the case, and that is criminal, because no young people should be going into nursing homes. They should get the service that they need. I think in Ireland there's so much focus on acute rehabilitation, and then when you get home it kind of tapers off. But I would like to see very consistent community rehabilitation, because your recovery keeps going for the remainder of your life. And I think that's what needs to change in Ireland. We need services that provide that for everybody.